Good morning, everyone. So we discussed in the previous sessions in the part number one. We done the class and object, okay, and then types of variables, and then types of methods, and then we're done with the types of constructors, types of constructors. Okay, so these are comes under the category of part number one. Okay, here we have the topic, that is one more topic, access specifiers. Access specifiers. So that we will see today. What
Sir,
does it mean
please
by access
complete my
specifiers?
essay.
Okay, what does it mean by access specifiers? We'll see. Access specifiers. The topic name is access specifiers. Okay. The main purpose. What is the main purpose of access specifiers? Is these are used to accessibility of. These are used to specify the accessibility of accessibility accessibility of accessibility for our classes for our classes our variables and our methods and our constructors. Okay, so access specifier, the main purpose is these are used to specify accessibility of our classes, our variables, methods and constructors. Okay, the second point is in Java we have four access specifiers. We have the below access specifiers. We have below access specifiers. Access specifiers. So those are, for the first one is public, and second one is private, and the third one is protected, and the fourth one is default one. Fourth one is default one. So we'll see one by one, then we'll get the clarity on it. First we'll go with the public. First we will go with the public. So public meaning, so it is the access specifier which is used to specify which is used to specify the global access, which is used to specify global access. I can mention global access, global accessibility, global accessibility for classes, comma variables, comma methods and constructors constructors. Okay, we'll go with the private basically, which is used to specify local access, local accessibility, for classes, variables, methods and and constructor. Okay, next we have the protected. So what does it mean by protected? Generally, protected meaning, so protected members we can access. Protected members we can access within the package or subclass. Okay, next we have the default one default package. So default members we can access within the package. I can mention default members we can access within the package. Are you guys clear with my point? So access specifiers, the main purpose is these are used to specify the accessibility of our classes, variables, methods and constructors. So in the access specifier in Java we have four access specifiers. Those are public, private, protected Default. Public meaning which are used to specify the global accessibility for classes, variables, methods, constructors. And private access specifier means which is used to specify the local accessibility for classes, variables, methods and constructor. Protected access specifier means protected members we can access within the package or subclass. Within the package or subclass. Default meaning default members we can access within the package. Okay, we'll see one by one. So basically, we will see with respect to class, we'll see with respect to variables, we'll see with respect to constructors. Okay, so first we will go with the class. We'll go with the class. So for example, I will come to here, I will take two files. I will remove these all files. Okay. I will take new file, new, and then I am taking the file. Here I am taking the file name is demo.java. Okay. And I am saving this one. So we are discussing about the public, right? So public, should I take access specifier as the public? Meaning public class name and a demo. Okay, should I take like this? If I take like this, I can save the file, and then if I come to here, wherever the file is available, you can open command prompt and java c and demo.java. So it is compiling, right? Compiling meaning, so class name you can take as the public. We can take we can take class name as, we can take class as public. We can take class as public. Then next one is with respect to variables. With respect to variables, whenever you are mentioning the public, then you can access out of the class. Okay, outside person also can able to access. Outside person also can able to access. Okay, so next thing is variables. Variables will see. So generally here we can take class as public, and we can take variables as public, variables as public, and the third point is we can take methods as public, methods as public, and fourth point here also we can take constructors as public, constructors as public, constructors as public. Okay, so all the class members you can take it as the public. Okay, fine. Now we can come to the private. So now if you see here, so should I take private as the class? Now I will take the private as the class, and then we'll see what will happen. Instead of public, I will take the private. I will take the private, and then I am saving the file, and I am saving the file, and I will come to here, wherever the file is available. You can go there. You can open the command prompt. Now you can type this java c and then demo.java. Now, if you see here, what it is telling, modifier private is not allowed here. Private is not allowed here. Okay, so access specifier also called as modifiers, both names. Access specifiers, or you can say modifiers also. Whenever you are declaring the private access specifier for the class, then this file we cannot, nobody cannot access. Okay, JVM also cannot able to access this file. So you mandatorily at the time of declaring the class name, you mandatorily you should take public only. Then only JVM also access. Then only JVM also access. JVM is also outside, right? So if you want to run this file, you mandatorily mention public only. You mandatorily mention public only. Okay, if you mention the private, then it won't access. It won't access. Now you can come here. So if you see here, modifier private is not allowed here. So mandatory you should take the private only. Mandatory you should take the public only. Okay. Next, with respect to, so the first point under the first point under the private, we cannot uh, we cannot take class as private. Class as private. Okay, are you guys clear with my point? Now, second point we'll see with respect to variables, with respect to methods, and with respect to constructors. Okay. Now the same file I am coming here, and here I will take method. So void. So I'm void method name is the m word, and from here to here scope of the m1. So I will pass some message. The message is system.out.println. So here I will pass some dummy message, that is demo class m1 method calling. M1 method calling. Okay. Now here I will mention I declared with public access specifier. Then what does it mean? This method I can access out of the class also. Out of the class also. Okay. Now I will take, this is one method, and I will take one constructor. So first we'll see with respect to method, and then we'll see with respect to constructor as well. Here also can mention public. Now if I compile this file, so my file is compiled or not? Exactly, my file is compiled. But should I run the file? So my file will be run or not? It won't run. Why? Because the file don't have the main method. If the file have the don't method, we cannot run our file. Why? Because every program execution start from the main method only. Okay? It will check the syntax mistakes only, but we cannot run this file. Why? Because it doesn't have the main method. If you want to run this file, you need to write main method. Then only you can run the file. Then only you can run the file. Okay, fine. Now what I will do, this is the demo class. Now I will take one more class. We can take new and then test. The class file name is test.java. Okay, I am opening my file. Now you guys observe, demo is the one file, test.java is the one file. Two classes, right? How can I establish the relation between two classes? To create the object. Okay, I am opening test.java. I am now opening test.java. Okay, I am opening test.java. Now I need to establish the relation between demo class and test class. So for that purpose, you should take the main method public static void main, and should take the string. Okay, and then aux, and from here to here this is the scope of the class. And then how should I create the relation between two classes? We need to create the object new demo, and then you should mention, so object got created inside the heap memory, and you should give some reference variable name. So I'm giving reference variable name is the demo, and this variable data type is the class. Okay, class. Okay, fine. So can I directly call demo dot method name is m1, method name is m1. Okay, and then m1, I'm I'm calling the m1 method. I'm saving this file, and then wherever the file is available, I'm going their place, and then cmd, and I am opening java c test.java. Now the file has successfully compiled, and java tester. So now if you observe here, demo m1 method is calling. Where the message is coming from? This message is coming from the demo class. demo class m1 method. Okay, so I am calling this I am creating demo class object in the test class, and through that I am accessing the demo class. So I am making the relation between two classes by using the object. By using the object. Okay, fine. So now what I will do, so instead of public, I will mention the private. Okay, and then I am saving the file. Now again I will go to the command prompt, and then I will again run the file. So java c test.java, and then now if you see what it is throwing the error, m1 m1 is the method, right? M1 has private access. Private access meaning if it is having the private access, we cannot access the out of the class. Okay, this is the one class, demo is the one class, test is the one class, right? So I declared m1 method as the private. If you declare the method as the private, you cannot access out of the class. You should mandatorily should use within the class only. You should use within the class only. Are you guys clear with my point? So that is the, I would say, with respect to method. Now we'll see with respect to constructor. Now we'll see with respect to constructor public. We can take a constructor. Constructor name and class name should be the same. And from here to here, this is the scope of the constructor block. And here I will take the message, that is system.out.println. Now I will pass some dummy message, demo constructor calling, demo constructor calling. Okay, and then I am saving this file, and here also I will mention like as the public. Okay, I'm saving the file. Now again I will go to the test.file, java c test.java, and then my file has successfully compiled, and then java test. Now if you observe here, so I'm getting the constructor message, I'm getting the method message also, I'm getting the method message also. So if I declare the private for the constructor, then you can see I'm saving this one, and again I am going to the command prompt, I'm running the file, and then if you observe here what it is throwing, demo is the constructor, it is having the private access. If it is having the private access, we cannot access out of the class. We cannot access out of the class. We cannot access out of the class. Okay. Okay, public. Next we'll try with the variables. This is the demo class, right? For demo class, we can take public some int id, and then public some string name. We'll take with some string name. Okay. Now, so simply I will go to the test class. Every object will maintain copy of the instance variables, right? We can go to the, this is one object. This object will maintain copy of the instance variable. Now what I will do, demo dot id equal to, I will mention some 200. Next step, demo dot name equal to some Rani. Okay, and then I'm saving this one. If I want to print this one, how could I print? So simply you can take the sysout statement. Inside the sysout statement, you should mention system.out.println, and then here you should mention demo.id, and then similarly you can mention demo.name as well. System.out.demo.name as well. System.out.println. Here you should mention demo.name. Demo.name. Okay, I'm saving this file, and then simply I'm coming to here. I'm coming to here, and then we'll see if I compile or not. The file has successfully compiled, and Java test. Now if you see, I'm coming 200, and I am coming It is coming Rani also. Now you can observe instead of public, if I mention the private, then what will happen? We cannot access out of the class. We cannot access out of the class. I am saving this one and then again I am coming to command prompt and then now I will try to compile and then so what it is showing, ID has the private, name has the private. So if it is has the private, we cannot access out of the class. We cannot access the out of the class. If you want to access the out of class, you should mandatorily mention the private public access specifier. Public access specifier. Okay. So here public access specifier. Now are you guys clear? Like what does it mean by public? When will you go for the public and when will you go for the private? If anything you want to access out of the class, at the time you can go with public. If you don't want to access out of the class, you want to access within the class, at the time you can go with private only. Private only. So here one more point. So always the instance variables should be private only. Should be private. That is the recommended, not a mandatory. That is the recommended approach. The instance variable should be private. Why? Because I will tell, for example, you can take some bank example and public the class name bank details. I will tell the class name as the bank details. Okay, bank details. And from here to here, this is the scope of the class. And the bank details are like bank account holder name. Okay, so bank account the holder name which is comes under the string data type. I will take the bank account holder name. Okay, I am taking some here. If I mention public, and here I would like to mention some Raju. Okay, and then I am declaring like this. Next thing is if I mention public, next one is account balance. We'll take with account balance. Account balance will take with the long data type. So account balance, account balance. Then here I will mention some 5,000, I will mention some 5,000. Okay. Next we will mention public long account number. Public long account number. Account number. Okay. Here also we'll mention some number. You can assume this is the account number. Then you can observe here, if I mention public as the access specifier, then what will happen? Outside person also able to access. If outside the person able to access, then there is no issue. Then when will the issue will come? Whenever third party person manipulate our data. Manipulate meaning, so instead of 5,000, they can manipulate with any other number, then there is no security, right? So that is the big issue. If the third party person access, there is no issue. When the issue will come, the third party person will manipulate our data, then issue will come, right? Then how to secure our data? So that's where instance variables always recommended to write with private. Private. So if I declared with the private, then nobody cannot out. So third party person cannot able to access out of the class. We can use these methods, we can use these variables within the class only. Within the class only. Okay, so that is the thing. Always instance variables you should recommend it to declare with private only. If you declare with public, there is no security. So anybody can access, anybody can manipulate our data. Anybody can manipulate our data. Are you guys clear with my point? So this one. So always instance variable should be declared with private only. And the next point is, I will come to here. The class name we cannot take as the private. Okay, if you take the class is also private, then JVM also don't access. Why? Because you already declared with the private, meaning nobody cannot access. nobody cannot access. And second point is we can take variables as a private. You can take, this is okay. And third point is we can take methods as a private also. You can take methods also private. That is also no issue for us. And fourth point is we can take constructors as private also, private. So in generally here we will use the singleton classes. So singleton classes meaning where we will mention constructor as the private, constructor as the private. Okay, singleton classes meaning, singleton classes meaning, so singleton classes have only one object. We cannot create multiple objects actually. Singleton classes, so this is the actually advanced topic. Singleton we can mention with singleton classes. We can create singleton classes. We can create only one object. Only one object. Only one object. So in that object, so constructor should be private. Constructor should be private. Okay. Are you guys clear with my points? Public access specifier, private access specifier, and then we have the next one is the protected access specifier. Protected access specifier meaning protected. For example, if you mention anything, for example, if you mention anything as a protected, that we can access within the package. Already you guys aware of the package. For example, now if you go to the Java document, Java SC document, these all the packages, right? For example, if I go with the java.lang and these many classes are available, right? If you want to access the all the classes within this package only, at the time you can go with protected. At the time you can go with protected. So actually package is also different concepts actually. That is also another topic actually. So as of now, what you remember, so protected is the access specifier which is used to access the class members within the package. Within the package. Okay. And next one is the default access specifier. So class members you can access. Here the thing is, if you don't specify any package, any access specifier, if you don't specify, if you don't specify any modifier, then JVM will provide default access specifier, default modifier for the class members, default modifiers for the class members, for the class members. Are you guys clear with my point? So if you don't mention any, for example, in previous case at the time of we are writing the methods, constructors, we are not mentioning access specifiers, right? If you don't mention access specifiers, then the JVM provide default access specifier, default access specifier. Okay, so here the class name also, for example, class name, if I forgot to mention, access specifier, then what it will treat it, this is access specifier as the default access specifier. The thing is, if you don't specify any modifier, then JVM will provide default modifiers for the class members, modifiers for the class members, modifiers for the class members. Are you guys clear with my point? So basically access specifiers is which are used to accessibility of our classes, variables, methods, and constructors. So which is categorized into four types: public, private, protected, and default. Okay, so in case here we can take class as public, variables as public, methods as the public, constructor as the public. And with respect to private, which is used to specify the local accessibility for classes, variables, methods, and constructors. So we cannot take class as the private, and we can take variables as the private, we can take methods as the private, and we can take constructors as the private. If you take the constructor as the private, then that is called singleton classes. Singleton classes meaning it can have only one object. It can have only one object. Next you have the protected. Protected meaning class members you can access within the package as subclasses. And next default. Here also the default class member. If you don't specify any modifier, then JVM will provide default modifiers for the class members. Default modifiers for the class members. Are you guys clear with my point? So can you please read these all the statements? What is the purpose of the access specifiers? These are used to specify accessibility for classes, our variables, our methods, and our constructors. Okay, next. In Java, we have below access specifiers. What are private, public, private, protected, default? Next, what is the purpose of public? Which is used to specify global accessibility for classes, variables, methods, and constructors. Uh, we can take class as the public, we can take variables as the public, we can take methods as the public, we can take class as the public. Okay. We can take constructor as public. Next, private, which is used to specify local accessibility for classes, variables, methods, constructors. Next, we cannot take class as the private, and we can take variables as private. Next, we can take methods as private. Next, we can take constructor as private. Okay, if you take the constructor as the private, then it will be treated as the singleton classes. Next, protected meaning protected members we can access within the package or subclass. Default members meaning default members we can access within the package. If you don't specify any modifier, then JVM will provide default modifiers for the class name. Okay. So this is access specifiers. So in the coming classes, like in the encapsulations, so we will regularly like there we will mention, we'll see with respect to private, with respect to public. Okay. Now after this, we have the topic is this keyword. So the first point is this is the predefined keyword, right? This is predefined keyword. This is predefined keyword, and what is the purpose of this is which is used to represent the current class object, which is used to represent the current class object. I will generally what is the example for this one? You can take the class and demo, and here you can take, I will write on the file. Now we'll get the clarity on it. I will take one example. Okay, here I will take one more example. I will take the file new and then text document. Here I will mention some demo test.java. Okay, now I am opening a demo test.java. Now public class demo test.java. From here to here, this is the scope of the class. Now what I will do, I will take two instance variables. The instance variables are like int id, and next one is the string name. Okay, string name. Okay, now what I will do, I will take one method, right? I will take one method. The method name is void m1 method, and from here to here, this is the scope of the m1 method. This is the scope of the m1 method. Now, what I'm telling is, so this keyword will represent the current class object. Current class object. So this is the keyword. It will represent the current class object. Now the current class is which one? Demo test is the current class, and so every object will maintain copy of the instance variables, right? Now if what I will do, I will pass two parameters. For example, int a, comma, string name I am passing. Okay. Now what I will do, for example, if I mention right like this, int id equal to a, then what does it mean? It won't assign actually. So for that purpose, we will mention this keyword dot id. This keyword dot id. What we are doing generally, this is the parameter, right? This is the parameter. This parameter, the value is coming from the value is coming from outside, and then we are initializing with parameter with instance variables by using this keyword. Are you guys clear with my point? So this one what I am saying, initialization of instance variable. So if I tell like this, so then what you will tell, this is initialization of instance variable. This statement is right or wrong? Instance variables. This statement is right or wrong? I am taking the parameter, with this parameter. So generally you can initialize with any value, right? So here also I am initializing with parameter. Now what I am telling, I am initializing instance variable by using this keyword. This keyword. This keyword will represent the current class object. Current class object. If the class is having the n number of properties, we can initialize by using the this keyword. Okay. So what the purpose of this keyword meaning? This keyword represents the current class object. This keyword it will represent the current class object. Now same thing here I will take this dot name equal to name. Okay, I will save this one. Now this is which method is this one? This is the instance method. How will you access the instance method? You can access the instance method by using the main method, by using the object creation, right? We can take the args, and then from here to here, this is the scope of the main method. And now what I will do, the class name is the demo test, right? So now here I will take the demo test, and then we can store this demo test in some reference variable, and then this reference variable data type is the demo test. Now I can call the file dt dot, my method name is m1, right? My method name is m1, and then I am passing the parameters, that is 100, and then I would like to pass the name, that is Samrani. Okay, and then I'm declaring now. I will come to the demo.java, and then you can open the command prompt. You can run the file javac demo test.java. Okay, now you can observe the file is compiled or not. So we missed the void, right? You can come here, void public static void main. Okay, syntax, you can come here, and then you can run the file javac. Okay, you can mention the command java demo test. Okay, can compile. Yeah, where, so we not mention anywhere sysout statements, right? So now what I will do, I will take the sysout statement, system dot out dot println. Now here I will mention this dot id, and then I can declare same statement I will take, and then now here I will mention with name. I will mention with name. Okay, I'm saving this one, and then I'm coming to here. Again, I will compile the file, and then I can run the file. can click up arrow, then you can get the previous commands. Java demo. So I'm coming the 100 and running. So how I am coming? Basically, I'm using this keyword. This keyword, it will represent the current class, current class objects, current class objects. Okay, so normally in previous days, what we did generally here with the help of dt dot id, like that we are initialize the instance variables. But that is the one approach, and directly you can use this keyword and you can directly initialize the instance variables. You can directly initialize the instance variables. Okay. Now what I will do, I don't mention this keyword. I don't mention this keyword. Okay. And then now I simply mention int id, and then so we'll try to understand without this keyword and with this keyword. So two scenarios we'll try to understand. So what I did simply, I removed the ID, this keyword for two variables. Now I will save this one. You can go there. You can compare Java test.java and Java. Now you are coming the run. Generally, this is the name, right? So here I will take only n. Here also I will take only n. Okay, this is the parameter a and this is the parameter n. Okay, now I will save the file. Now I will come to here, Java C demo test.java, and then can run the file. It is initializing. We'll take the same names, ID, and then name. Okay, and now what I will do, I will pass the same ID and then name. Okay, I'm saving this one. Here also I am passing. Okay, I'm saving this one. Now you can come here, compile the file. I can run the file. Getting the same values. So generally, where we have a little difference actually, ID and then ID. For example, if you take some other number, some double equal to balance, double equal to balance, I'm declaring there, and then here I will mention double E, and there here I can take just to simply take I and then N and then E, I and then N, and then here I would like to take balance equal to E. Okay, I can declare here, I can take this one. Okay, I will paste here one more statement, and then you can take E, save the file, you can come down here, you can pass the double value also, double value some 5000 dot 5. Okay, and then you can save the file. Now you can compile the file, Java C, and then we need to keep the comma, save the file, you can come here, Java C, and then you can compile the file demo dot. So generally this keyword basically which is represent the current class instance variables, current class instance variables. current class instance variables. Okay. Okay, so that is about this keyword. Next, where we have final keyword. Okay, next one is the final. So with respect to final, it is the predefined keyword. It is the predefined keyword. Okay, it is the predefined keyword. It is the predefined keyword. So if you declare any class member, any uh, any class member as final, any class member as final, then that is immutable. Immutable. Immutable meaning nobody cannot modify. Nobody cannot modify. Nobody cannot modify. Nobody cannot modify. For example, the same example here I will take. So here, if I declare with the final, then this is the constant value. This is the constant. So whenever you are writing the naming conventions, we already learned meaning what are the rules for writing the constant values. If you declare with the constant, then all characters should be in the uppercase. All characters should be in the uppercase. Name. Okay, all characters should be in the uppercase, and nobody cannot modify this value. If I declare like this, then what will happen? So this is the constant value. This is the constant value. Constant value meaning nobody cannot access, nobody cannot modify. If you declare with the final, then nobody cannot modify the data. Nobody cannot modify the data. So that is the advantage with the final. So in the coming days, so where we have the loggers actually, we have the logger is the one real-time tool. So there itself, we have the loggers. What is the purpose of the loggers? Basically, we can track the class level methods. Okay, we can track the progress of the class. So there we will mention the, so whenever you are creating the logger file, there we will mention the final. Final meaning the log file is nobody cannot modify. Whatever the file is tracking, those details it will be displayed. Okay, but nobody cannot modify that file. Okay, so as of now what you will remember, so final is the keyword. So if you declared any variable with the final, that is the immutable. Nobody cannot manipulate the data. Okay, nobody cannot manipulate the data. So logger is also one real-time tool actually. This is also one real-time tool. Real-time tool. So after this, so in the O part number one, in the O part number one, so we discussed class and object. Okay, and we discussed types of variables. Okay, we discussed types of methods, and we discussed types of constructors, and then we discussed this keyword access specifiers, access specifiers, and then final keyword, right? These are comes under the OOPS basics. Okay, next we have the OOP part number 2. In the OOP part 2, basically here we have four principles. Those are like encapsulation, and we have the inheritance, and we have the abstraction, and then we have the polymorphism, polymorphism. Okay, so now I will give the brief about four principles. Okay, I will give the brief about the four principles. Okay, so with respect to encapsulation, so encapsulation basically it is the process of combining variables and methods, combining variables and method as a single entity, is called encapsulation. Are you guys clear with my point? So, for example, already aware of what does it mean by class? Class is nothing but combining of variables and methods, right? So, is there any best example for the encapsulation? Yes, the best example for the encapsulation is our Java classes. Best example for the encapsulation is our Java classes. Our Java classes. Okay, all our Java classes, we can say best example for the encapsulation. All our Java classes, all Java classes declared with the variables and methods, right? Then we can say encapsulation. Best examples are the our Java classes. All are best example for the encapsulation. Encapsulation. So this encapsulation we can achieve by using the classes. Next, what does it mean by inheritance? Inheritance meaning it is the process of extending the properties from parent to child, parent to child from parent to child, from parent to child, is called inheritance. So the I can say what is the advantage with the inheritance meaning code reusability. Already I discussed with you, right? So today also I'm giving the briefs. So coming classes, next classes we will discuss uh, completely about each principle. Okay. Now the main purpose of this one is code reusability. Okay, code reusability. So there we will see with respect to variables and with respect to methods, with respect to constructors, we'll see one by one. So there we will learn like methods execution flow. Also we have the one topic methods execution flow, and how the constructors will be calling and the methods will be calling. So methods execution flow we will discuss under inheritance. So there again we have the types of single level, multi-level, hybrid, hierarchical, multiple. So these are the types comes under the uh, inheritance. Next we have the abstraction. Abstraction basically it is the process of hiding unnecessary data and providing necessary information, and hiding unnecessary data and providing required information, providing required information is called abstraction. Okay, we can achieve abstraction, we can achieve abstraction by using by using abstract classes and abstract classes and interfaces interfaces. Okay, so like we discussed some examples also like car, ATM. So these all are comes under the category of abstraction. Next, polymorphism meaning if any objects exhibits multiple behaviors based on the situation, multiple behaviors based on the situation based on the situation is called polymorphism, is called okay, is called polymorphism. So in the again it is categorized into two types. One is the compile time polymorphism, second one is the runtime polymorphism. Okay, now today what you guys will do, so we can do the programs with respect to access specifiers. Whatever we discussed in the class, you can do the assignments and then you can share in the group. So from coming classes, so we'll discuss principles. We'll discuss principles. First we'll discuss the encapsulation. Later we'll discuss the inheritance. Later we'll discuss the polymorphism. Later we'll discuss the abstraction. Okay. Some coming classes we'll discuss the principles. So today your assignment is you can do the programs on access specifiers, and you can take the screenshot of it and you can share in the group. So online